Welcome to Powerhouse Realty's webinar. Today is June 1st, and it was sunny outside today here on Prince Edward Island, Canada, but we have some overcast now and about 12 degrees. So it is a nice day still, not the rain that we were supposed to be promised and forecasted. So if you're wondering if it's possible to purchase a property on Prince Edward Island during the pandemic, if these are questions that you have, or you're just concerned about the selling process and concerned for your safety and what to expect, or if you just want to know what the market looks like, you've come to the right place today. So sit back, and I'm going to try to give you as much information in as a condensed period of time as I possibly can here. So just to kind of start here, down at the bottom of your screen, there's going to be a questionnaire or a little box to allow you to comment on any questions that you have. So the format for today is, and this is where I should have had this slide there. What we're going to be covering is the PEI market review, how real estate is being done during the pandemic on Prince Edward Island, and then a bit about Powerhouse Realty and some information about us. So about your host today, my name is Patty Campbell, otherwise known as Powerhouse Patty. I've lived on Prince Edward Island for approximately 11 years now, and have been doing real estate for over 10 of those years. I started the company Powerhouse Realty January 14th, 2019 as a result of attending a lot of conferences. I've got a great real estate coach who is in New York, and their company that provided a lot of the tools, the infrastructure, and the confidence to go ahead and open up Powerhouse Realty PEI and get a team together, which we have today. And I'll take you to that slide. So Team Powerhouse Realty is the result of me opening up the company. I want to introduce them to you. You'll see on your left side of your screen, Trisha Campbell. She's been in real estate now for over 5 years. Myself. Megan Morrill is our office administrator, and she's the one that does all the inputting of listings and answers a lot of calls and looks after the lawyers and that. Lauren McLean, she joined Powerhouse Realty in January. Pete Doucette, same time as well, even though he has a real estate background from years ago. He is getting back into the business. Michelle Harmer, she used to be a paralegal. She's been with us since the fall of last year. And then we have Lisa Stewart Campbell, who is she's a realtor, but she's also our showing specialist. So she will assist if there are buyers looking at properties and that, and we can't get her through. She is me split in half and able to get more clients serviced. And then there is Ron McMillan, and Ron has been a realtor now for about 3.5 years or so, and brings a great knowledge with him, having worked in safety and that previously. So just wanted to give you a little bit of fun facts instead of just diving right into all the content of the market and that. So why PEI.com facts? So just some interesting statistics and numbers that people may enjoy. The current population here on PEI is 158,158, and those are according to last year's stats 2019. No matter where you are on PEI, you are typically within 16 kilometers of a beach. So that is viewed as being highly desirable. You know, if people ask, where's the closest beach? I need to know that I'm close to a beach. I can pretty confidently say to you, no matter what the property you purchase, you'll be within 16 kilometers of a beach. The Confederation Trail is 273 kilometers long. It is for hikers, it is for cyclists, it is for even wheelchair accessibility. They have made sure that, you know, it is able to accommodate no matter what you're looking for with regards to getting out, enjoying the outside and getting some exercise. $48.50, I like to tease about that. It's the only province that you have to pay to leave. The peace of mind for that is, I always tease my children, and unless they have $50, they're not going to be running away from home for very far. They're going to get as far as the water and have to turn around and come back home. 800 kilometers was an interesting number that I discovered. We have 800 kilometers of beach frontage on PEI. So especially during times like this in a pandemic, you'll notice there's a lot of places that you're seeing them all densely congested and populated in these beach areas. Not too much of a concern with that, with as much land as we have. Prince Edward Island consists of 3 counties. So there's the Kings County, the Queens County, and the Prince County area. The average age, so the median age, on Prince Edward Island, because as much as people assume we are an older population, the median age is 42.8. The highest point above sea level on Prince Edward Island is 152 meters, and that is located right here where this X is in Springton, Prince Edward Island in Queens County. And 89,000 acres of farmland on PEI was reported in 2013 stats, which that's a lot of land and farm and a lot of agriculture that Prince Edward Island puts out. So I'm going to dive into the stats, and before we do that, if you do have any questions as we're going along through here, please feel free to just put them in the comments box at the bottom, and I'll be sure to address them during our question answer portion of this this webinar. So Prince Edward Island, just recapping April, because May stats today is just June 1st. So we weren't able to get May stats yet because some of them, there's going to be some late entries coming in today and tomorrow. So we'll be releasing those at our next webinar. But as you can see, comparing 2019 to 2020, there is a 12% decrease in sales from last year to this year. Average sale price for the month of April was 242,678, with average days on market being 62.5 days. And that's been pretty consistent still from what I've been seeing for the month of May. The year-to-date new listings. So last year, for the month of April, we had 836 new listings come onto the market. And this year, the month of April, we've had 625. So why this is important and relevant to you is because a lot of people are assuming real estate is really bad. I've heard reports of it's doom and gloom, and you're not going to be able to get your property sold. This is showing, which again, this is the data, and you always refer to real life data, and the numbers is showing, yes, there's a bit of a decrease. However, it's, you know, our typical 5 years up, 5 years down economics 101. And we are in that downward kind of slope within that, because we've had our 5 years peak, or this is going to be our year 5, we're going into our year 5. So what does the market look like thus far in 2020? So when you take a look at this chart here, and just so that I can explain, this is every single week since 2020 has the calendar year flipped. And what you're going to see is, yes, properties, you know, there were quite a few listings still going on, a little bit less than say your spring months, because a lot of people don't like putting their property on the market during the winter months, although I'm opposite mindset of that, but I can explain that at a different webinar. So what you're going to see here is it slowly did start to go down as the pandemic concern grew. And this here, this low area, was when the island was shutting down here. So it did, you know, hit some low numbers. However, if you take a look week after week, we're continuously going up now as we head into, and we are as officially today, in phase 3 here on Prince Edward Island. So right now, as of last week, there were 93 new listings that went onto the market. 46 closed properties last week, 53 properties went under contract, and 23 price changes happened last week. This graph down here, just to let you know what you're looking at, actually does get into and shows you the spikes are the end of the month, which, not surprising, a lot of properties either close the last week of the month or the first week of the month. And then when you see them dip down here, these are the middle of the month closings. So not something I was aware of that was so noticeable, but typically we have double the closings at the beginning or end of the month than we do the beginning. So your 3-year comprehensive review, this is going to compare 2018, 19, and 2020. Total sales for 2018 was 435, 385 in 2019, and 286 that you can see there on your screen. So yes, the sale numbers are going down, but they already were, as you can see, in 2019. 2018 is when we hit our island peak here for, you know, our market being the best it's been in probably a long time, since 2007. Average sale price, you'll see in 2018 was $210,000, an increase to $232,000 in 2019, and another further increase to $260,000. And some of that could be a result of low supply as well, because obviously the supply and demand rule, and the rest is just regular inflation. So property prices are not going down. It isn't the doom and gloom that people are assuming. And now this graph over here, which again I found interesting, the new listings are following the same flow as they have in the past. So you'll see this top green line here is 2018's. It follows a very similar line as 2019, and 2020 is following the same growth, the same curve as the 2 years prior to. So we're consistent with where we are with our seasons changing, because our spikes usually start right around April, which is what I always tell my clients. Try to get in just before the April rush, because everyone starts to put their property on the market once the tulips and the daisies start to appear. And at the bottom here, it's comparing the total sales. So these are, again, multi-class. I haven't pinpointed, and if you want a more comprehensive based on your market, we do have those numbers. But this is just encompassing everything, the real estate market as a whole on PEI. And you'll see, just based on the graph here, that, you know, it's been pretty consistent. Yes, here's our peak, and this is March with last year, this year. Actually, we're doing better this year for closings in March. And then you look at April, and it's that natural curve. This probably wouldn't have been as low if the pandemic hadn't, if we hadn't had the pandemic hit us, but it is naturally on its natural growth curve going down, and you'll see that in May as well. So a little bit of a decrease here for sure, but sales and transactions are still happening. So coming on June 15th, we're going to be covering May's monthly review, so you can kind of get to see what May looks like this year versus last year. We're also going to be covering how to move safely during a pandemic. I'm getting lots of clients who are in the process of either thinking or actually doing the move across Canada right now to move to PEI, and I just want to be able to provide some tips on how to do that safely, as well as some more PEI fun facts in store. So buying during the pandemic, just so that you can see, we do have a process and procedures in place to buy virtual home buying program that doesn't require you to have to physically be here. And we do have a home showing etiquette process that we do follow, because real estate has been deemed essential here on Prince Edward Island. And it continues in phase 3 that we now things are being a little bit lifted and lightened, but I'll get into that a little bit later on. And just a little bit on how we are keeping our clients safe. So We do continue to help clients every step of the way. We have not slowed down. If anything, the pandemic has created new learning and growth opportunities. I've had the opportunity to Zoom call many clients and get to see their smiling faces on a regular basis now. And you know, the technology and tools have always been there. We just weren't utilizing them, and the pandemic's kind of forced us to have to do that. So the same level of activity, it just looks a little different. And these are just some handouts in that, which I will get into at a different conference, where we get into real estate 101 and understand the whole buying and selling process. But just to know that these are some of the information and some of the lingo that you would need to know. So how technology is helping buyers navigate through the home buying and search process. These are some stats that were pulled from realtor.com. It does show you that 61% of home buyers across the planet deem virtual tours very important. So you want to make sure you do have some sort of property video or virtual tour on your property if you are a seller. 58% of buyers feel that accurate and detailed information, listing information, is important. 53% accurate and detailed neighborhood information, because they are buying property sight unseen. They're really reliant on us as realtors in the industry to you know, be able to provide them that information that they're looking for. 51% are looking for high quality listing photos. I can hear somebody's puppy there. So these are just some of how technology is helping us today. These are the current mortgage interest rates as of June 1st, 2020. So you'll see a 5-year fixed with Scotiabank right now. According to Rate Hub, they have the best rates at the 2.59%. What does that mean to you if you're a buyer looking for a property? Is you could, and again, based on that buyer's lingo slide, you can get a little bit more property with the interest rates being lower, or you can stay and maintain your budget and have a little bit less payments because the interest rates are still at an all-time low, and it's still a great time to be purchasing real estate here in Canada, because these are Canada stats. So just 5 buying tips when you're looking or thinking about buying a house, just to kind of, you know, cover, know your budget, know your area on the island. Be ready to make a quick decision here, because we are, and I was just in multiple offers yesterday representing a buyer. So you do have to be able to make quick decisions, and if you do want to secure that property, make sure you bid competitively. It's not the time to really get into negotiating and hoping to get it for less. And then working with a realtor who would be able to help you through the process will definitely help you land that property that you're looking for here on PEI. Some of the services that we do provide is, it's called a collaboration search. So if you are working with a realtor and you don't have this service set up, you might want to ask them about it. The collaboration search is a custom site set up for you, the consumer, the buyer, and you can set these up for sellers as well to keep an eye on the market. But it allows us to communicate with you directly based on the criteria that you provide to us, so that you can stay up to date. You get to know when properties newly come on the market, when they've sold, if there's been price reductions. You're just a very well informed, again, whether you're a buyer or a seller, it is to your advantage to have access and have these services provided for you. And this just lets you know what the actual site looks like. And if you follow my mouse down on the bottom here, you'll see this little arrow here is indicating that this particular property at this time had a $5,000 price reduction. And then some of the tabs that are available to you are, you know, property information, history. Right on the Collab site, you'll be able to do a mortgage calculator and figure out if the property is within your budget as well. So some really, really good tools that are available to you when you do work with a realtor. And then just the 5 tips for selling a house. So it's important to prepare your home. Don't over upgrade. Take the home out of your house, which is basically just depersonalizing the space. You're moving anyway, so why not start preparing the house so that someone else can visualize themselves in it? And then again, I'm an advocate of having a pre-list home inspection. It just helps expedite the process a little bit so that buyers are even more well informed of the property and shows a little more transparency on the seller's part. And then again, working with the realtor who'll be able to walk you through it. So if you do have any comments, make sure you just put them in the comments tab at the bottom, and I'll be sure to answer them during the question and answer portion of this webinar. So what do our days look like today to keep everyone safe? So we are masking, there are gloves that we are wearing, Lysol wipes. My process is I have a glove on one of my hands, and my buyer clients, if you're watching it here today, will be able to confirm this. And I have my Lysol wipes in my gloved hand, and that's the only thing I use to touch somebody's home, whether it's vacant or inhabited. I try my very best to leave that home in as clean of a condition and hopefully COVID-free as I possibly can. And our buyers do mask up as well. We're using lots of hand sanitizer, and we're also, able to do things like Google Duo, Skype, FaceTime to get clients into homes that they otherwise, aren't able to travel to the island at this time to view. There are technologies and tools available to us to be able to do that. We are able to get contracts signed electronically. There's different software programs. What I use personally for my clients is .loop, which is very user-friendly and doesn't require a lot of tutorials or explanations, so that we can still sell properties and get people into their new homes. So I'll just let you see. So Powerhouse Realty's featured property listings this week. We are featuring 55 Ferber Drive in New Glasgow. This property is situated on a golf course in New Glasgow. It does have an elevator. It has a saltwater indoor pool and is just a delight to show and be inside. So if you want some information on this property, please get in touch with somebody on our team. The next property is 11016 Route 6 in Clinton. This property here is a horse lover's paradise. It does come with about 30 acres of waterfront property on the Clinton River. And again, it's just all windows inside. It's just a beautiful home as well. And then we have Lady Slipper Lane acreage, which is a good large parcel of waterfront property in Cambridge, Prince Edward Island, for the low price of $299,900. And that's situated on Seal Cove, which you do get to see seals in that. I've had clients live there who have enjoyed their time there and have sent lots of pictures to me when they were living there of all the activity and the fishing boats and stuff. So it's a beautiful property location. So our new listing here is for a Union Corner Road in Union Corner. So this is a piece of land. It is a treed lot, and it is just a new listing that came on. So if you are looking for information, Michelle Harmer, that I had showed you at the beginning, is the agent you'll want to get in touch with to get some more information on this property. And then coming soon, so we have an exciting property coming in Cornwall. It's a 4-bedroom home, a split level entry, and it is water view, and it is in an area that does allow and have water access, boat access, and that. So stay tuned for that one, because it will be on the market by the end of this week. So if you are looking for that, you can get in touch with somebody on our team for more information. So just a little bit about Powerhouse Realty. Out of 36 offices, or there are 36 real estate offices on Prince Edward Island, Powerhouse Realty has been consistent in maintaining that we are in the top 10 on the island with our listing inventory. So what that means is, you know, as a seller, we do have a lot of buyers that do work through us, and we can do our best to try to direct them to your property. Of course, they can purchase whatever they want, but it is an achievement for us to maintain that being a new company. As well as for last year's stats, we are in the top 12 for our sales volume on Prince Edward Island. Again, not very easy to be competing with some of the big brand names, but we are holding our own and in amongst, you know, again, the top brands on PEI. So why Powerhouse Realty PEI? So just to understand, we do believe in continuous education. Our agents, our team here, we do attend weekly training conferences and seminars and sessions to try to better serve our clients and make sure that they are prepared, no matter the situation, to assist them. The other thing is we do have a combined experience of almost 25 years. So if there is a concern or question and that one person isn't able to answer, typically there's somebody here that has already experienced it, and we're able to, you know, pull together and get that information to get that client on their way to make sure that it's as seamless and smooth as possible. And we do have the support of some of the top teams around North America who do support us in any challenges or anything that we may face. So we have a wonderful network of top agents across North America on our side here. So when I say we are more, we truly are experienced, educated, and efficient. So just PHR, we do have our core values. I'm not going to go through them all, but one of the ones that stands out for me is to be authentic, which is something that we all strive. And actually, we've had clients compliment different agents in our office from time to time because we're real and we do speak to you, you know, as if you are, this is a first transaction, and we understand what you're going through because everyone on our team has bought and sold properties, and some have bought and sold and moved across the planet from the UK, others across the country. So we're extremely empathetic and understand some of the challenges that our clients face, and just that authenticity is very important, you know, to us to make sure our clients know that we understand and we know what you're going through, and we're here to help. So, so at this point in time, this is where we can, you know, answer any questions. So if anyone does have any questions about the stats or, you know, what real estate looks like during the pandemic, you can go ahead and ask them right now, because I'm sure, you know, there's going to be a few questions that come in. Okay, Mark wants to know what we're doing as a team, and if, you know, all industries, like all real estate companies are doing this, or if it's just our company that's wearing the masks and stuff. So I can't speak for what other companies are doing, but what we are doing at Powerhouse Realty is we are insisting that our clients all mask before they go into a house. And of course, we do have Lysol wipes and stuff to keep everybody safe. And there are waivers that you can expect to sign. Again, just your typical questionnaires. Have you been, you know, in contact with somebody that may be an essential worker working, you know, traveling back and forth across the bridge into New Brunswick? These are things that we feel are important that we need to know to keep us safe, to keep our team safe, as well as to keep our families and our communities safe. So that's a good question, but I can't speak for the other companies on the island, just what we're doing ourselves and what we've insisted as being important to us. So if there's no other questions, I am just going to continue. feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on the team at any time. Or if you'd like the information, I can definitely send that along to you so you can take a look in a little bit more detail instead of me going through, a slide presentation here with you. So if you're looking for a property evaluation and you want to find out how your property value has been impacted by our current pandemic, contact one of our team's professionals today and we'll sit down and give you a comprehensive review as well. So I have a question from Cindy explaining a bidding war and what that means. So basically, it's not a term that I use for my buyers, but it's a term that sellers do use and would like to have happen. How you create a bidding war and what it is you try to position that real estate property to give it the most amount of exposure and hopefully the most amount of traffic in a condensed period of time, and you hold off all offers. So if a listing were to go live, say today on the MLS, and to create a bidding war, we may stage it by saying all offers are to be held off until Thursday at 4 o'clock. That's to try to ensure that a seller has the most amount of visibility for their property to hopefully generate multiple offers or a bidding war. Now that could work against you, which I always make sure my selling clients are aware of, is that if you stage it that there is going to be multiple offers or all offers are to be held off until say 4 o'clock on Thursday and you don't get any offers, you've just kind of sabotaged a little bit your negotiating position by implying there is and then there isn't, and then a buyer comes in and feels now they can kind of either lowball or at least have an opportunity to negotiate with you. So that's what starting or creating a bidding war looks like, and that's kind of from the seller side what it looks like. Most people would prefer not to be in multiple offers, because that means they have to come up with their best foot forward, whereas a lot would like to walk through it and feel like they did get a deal on the property instead of having to just throw all their cards out all at once. Now, if you are, just to finish that question, if you do or are in a multiple offer situation, here's my advice and tip to you. Put your best foot forward, put your best price forward, and a number that should you have to go to sleep tonight knowing that you didn't win out on the property, it's not going to stress you out because this is the number that you were comfortable and felt most confident with. So Cindy is just saying, I've seen realtors put a house on the market at below market value to encourage a bidding war. Is that a realistic strategy? Yes, absolutely it is. Typically properties that are priced at market or below will generate a multiple offer situation. Bidding war is, I don't really like the term, but again, it's something that sellers do use. But again, you have to watch that and you have to be confident in the product that you're offering, because if it's not a product that you're going to have a lot of buyers all lined up for, you may end up selling for a little bit less, but it is definitely a strategy, especially if you have a property within, say, one of the city centers, or if you're on the water with about 5 acres seems to be what most people find desirable as a nice package here. So, but yeah, it could be a strategy used for sure. Is there a lot of interest in Prince Edward Island from other parts of the country and other parts of Canada? Another really good question. Yes, there is. I have clients who are calling me regretting not having moved to Prince Edward Island over the years gone by. So here's what I'm seeing on the increase right now. There's a lot of people who are feeling, because of the way Prince Edward Island was able to manage and handle the COVID to this day anyways, to the level that they were able to has made Prince Edward Island more desirable. It's on people's radar now. If they're not looking to move here immediately, but they definitely want to get something secured, land is on the uprise. There are a lot more land transactions starting to happen. And again, over the weekend, I've had 3 people just say, I need a piece of property on PEI. I'm not looking to build for about 2 or 3 years, but I need to get that secured right now. Can you help me? Can you help me find that property this year? Because I want to know I have a place to go, especially with the concern if there is a second wave or another pandemic. I'm finding there's a lot more people, currently a lot in Ontario, because there are some parts of Ontario are in a hot spot, are seeking out whether it's a primary residence or a second home, so that they do have a place that they could possibly move to and get set up. So yes, a lot more calls, a lot more collaboration site searches are being set up. I've got one on my desk here that I have to finish from another person looking to move and get secure property. So definitely on the uprise. And for that reason alone, I don't feel that our market is going to start to suppress or go down. We have enough activity that happens within the island, people upsizing, downsizing, all those natural life activities. But we have this migration happening from across Canada, where people are looking at PEI now as a safe option with beaches and less population and congestion. So yes, definitely, we are going to continue to probably see a healthy market for the years to come. Is the Asian immigration to the island slowing? Yes, it has slowed a little bit. Those aren't where I'm seeing the numbers coming from. And again, that's partly because of their ability to be able to travel here during the pandemic. Some have chosen as a solution to sell their property, and an Asian buyer will purchase and secure it, but because they don't have anywhere to go, I'm seeing more and more sellers now taking on the role of being a tenant within these homes, with buyers from Hong Kong, and that at least having their ownership on a property here. So when things do open up and lighten up a little bit, they do have a home and an agreement in place. And I mean, it's just a little extra paperwork, but you set up a lease agreement and work out and establish what the pay structure, if that's what they're going to be doing. So a little bit slower for sure, but there are still those buying and again renting back to sellers. So if there's any other questions, okay. Yes, we do have off-island market strategies. So we have a list within our packaging on things that we do, but typically where it starts from is right at the beginning of the listing. So what you do is you determine who is going to be the buyer for this particular property. And then we try to tailor and target our marketing to that end user, that buyer that we're seeking out or looking for. So, with Ontario being a place that a lot of people are looking at, we do have target campaigns for certain areas that we know, especially if it's a vacation home. There's certain communities that we hit where we know those particular communities in some of these areas, and there's some in Alberta and BC that we target specifically. They have enough equity in their home to be able to purchase a second vacation home here. So it's very customized and unique to each property based on what the product is, where it's located, and who do we feel the buyer is, the consumer is for this one. Everything is all tailorized to that, and then that's how we come up with our marketing program and plan, and start doing, again, it's target marketing is what we really believe in here at Powerhouse Realty, and it has worked. It has been successful for us. So let me know if there's any other questions. I'll go on to the next slide, and if there is, feel free, because I will answer whatever I can before we wrap up here. So one of the things that we do provide at Powerhouse Realty is our complimentary guides. So these walk you through every step of the process, you know, right from when you're thinking of selling or thinking of buying, questions to ask, all the way to questions to ask your realtor to make sure, you know, you are getting someone that's going to, you know, help service and take care of you, and that they are knowledgeable in what they say they do, all the way to closing and after. So these are great tools that we have and we do give to our clients. And then we also have custom packages that our sellers are able to leave to purchasers to assist them, because there's nothing more sad to go buy a house that you've sold and you don't see them being a steward of the home or maintaining it. It's not a good feeling. So to set the new owners up for success, we put together these information packages that our sellers are able to leave for the new owners, so they know who the electricians are and who is familiar with the property to continue to maintain and take care of it the same way that the sellers have loved it throughout the years. And then just how to contact us. So this is my contact information. So if you are looking to reach out to us, my email's there, as well as our website address is there. And we're on Google. You can just Google even Powerhouse Patty and you'll find myself or the company. One last thing before I let everybody go. We are having on Prince Edward Island a Father's Day giveaway. So it's not just to dads or fathers, it's to a father figure or someone who's been a father figure in your life. We're giving away a first prize is $100 golf bag and 12 customized Powerhouse Realty golf balls, as well as a golf towel, and 2 green fee passes for the Belvedere Golf Course. Second prize is a $100 gift card for Canadian Tire. Now, how do you enter into this great contest? You just have to submit a story. You can do it on Facebook. If you wanted to do it within the comments, you could private message us, or you can go to our website at powerhouserealtypei.com, and this exact page, you'll end up seeing the Father's Day contest. It will allow you to submit an entry on there. So we're going to be closing the submissions on June 12th, and then we'll be announcing them shortly thereafter as to who's won the first prize and second prize Father's Day giveaway contest. And then Powerhouse Realty's next project. So this summer, July 1st is our goal. Our goal is to provide 100 bags, because as much as we're all focused on ourselves here right now and keeping ourselves safe, there's a lot of people in need on Prince Edward Island who can be easily forgotten about. So what we have set up and have already got some of the supplies starting to come in is we want to fill 100 bags with necessities for those in need, especially because this summer is supposed to be one of the hottest summers on record is what they're forecasting. So we want to take care of those who aren't able to access hand sanitizer, face masks, sometimes just the basic necessities of bottles of water, some food. We're looking at filling them with flip-flops and stuff like that. So we're also going to be accepting donations at the office here. So if you do have some of these items and feel that you would be able to, spare some, even some of when you go to hotels, we used to be able to go to hotels and travel abroad. The little shampoos or the little creams and stuff, you may have some of those sitting around that you haven't used. Even if those items and that, we'd love to fill our bags and hit our campaign goal of 100 bags for the homeless. So if you are able to, please feel free to contact us. Let us know when you're looking to drop off some of the items and supplies so we can hit our target goal. We have already taken care of 100 bottles of hand sanitizer for people. Each bag is going to come with masks. Each bag is, there's just so many things because all our supplies have just been shipped in today to fill them. So just so you know, we have to think of other people during these times as well. So this is something that we're creating, which is a Help Us Fill 100 Bags campaign for those in need on PEI. And then stay tuned. So the next week's review, which is going to cover how to move during a pandemic, and again, more island stats and just some fun facts about Prince Edward Island. So that ends my webinar today. I hope you found it informative and full of information, and are looking forward to checking us out. It'll be June 15th is when the next one is going to be released. So have a great day, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you guys all soon.